Hi there. I haven't decided on a topic for today because I really felt, as it's Monday and it's the beginning of the week, and a lot of people may struggle with the beginning of a week, that I just feel that sometimes it's important just to welcome whatever space we are in. Now, many years ago, I used to really be into positive thinking. I used to do affirmations in front of the mirror. I used to follow the law of attraction. I really felt that if I just talked myself into positivity, that everything would change for me. But I'd neglected to allow and acknowledge the feelings that arise from day to day. We have thousands and thousands of unconscious thoughts that have often been programmed from birth and childhood. And we are distracted sometimes by trying to fix who we are. So today, I want you to start thinking about if you do positive thinking in a forceful or controlling way, if you're trying to make yourself happy, whether it's actually working. So how are you today? Thank you, Selig, for watching. Today I am feeling a lot. I'm a woman, and right now I feel quite tender and hormonal. Now, if I did what a lot of people would tell me to do, if I walked to my mirror and looked in the mirror and said to myself, I am happy, I am peaceful, I am blessed, what do you think I would be saying to the part of me that doesn't feel like that? Many years ago, when I used to force feed myself positive thinking, I didn't realise that I was actually putting down the inner child who was feeling sad or angry or that was suffering at the time. And we really need to start to take ownership of our feelings. Now, owning our feelings doesn't mean that we are always negative. There's the positive and the negative in life. There is black, there is white, there is dark, there is light. And the reason we struggle so much is because we prefer, or we try and make sure that we have a particular experience. And that may mean that we try and feel peaceful, or we try and feel joyful, even when we're feeling sad, lonely, depressed, or we're just feeling frustrated or stressed. I think sometimes that the positive thinking path can actually make us reject our sacred humanity, when really a lot of the masters and teachers that actually do live in a state of peace and balance tend to be really accepting of what they're feeling. It's, for example, if you suffer from anxiety and you have a panic attack. Now you could be fighting with your mind, telling yourself that you shouldn't be having a panic attack. You should be feeling something else, or you should be feeling calm or relaxed. But instead, what could probably move through that panic attack a lot more smoothly and easily would be to simply acknowledge, right now, I feel stressed. Right now, there is panic. Right now, there is fear. And that's okay. We don't have to be happy. We don't have to be joyful. Now, happiness, joy, peace, tranquility, bliss, harmony, all of these experiences naturally evolve when we start to accept our experience. It doesn't need forcing at all. Now, after many years of trying to force myself to be positive, and I started to accept how I was feeling, positive thoughts, what you would acknowledge as positive thinking, naturally began to happen. I don't believe we can say positive affirmations or tell ourselves certain things that we really, really don't feel because it's dangerous and negative. For example, if you tell someone who's really depressed that they just need to start thinking better of themselves, they need to start believing in themselves, they need to trust themselves. Now, if someone's suffering from depression, they're not going to be able to take that. And actually, when someone's that depressed, saying certain positive statements reinforces that depression. It actually pushes that depression more compacted into the body. So if we can just accept what we're feeling. Now, the more I began to accept how I felt, the more I allowed myself to feel whatever was arising, the more my mind began to bring in new positive ways of thinking. And it wasn't forceful. One day I was just lying in bed and I was feeling a bit low and a bit sad at the end of the day. And I just felt this thought appear in my mind, and it just said, I believe in you. Now, I didn't think that. I didn't make that thought happen. It happened because I allowed myself to feel what I was feeling. Now, many years ago, I wrote a blog post about how positive thinking can be very similar to, if you imagine, this is quite a gross concept, but if you imagine a pile of dog poo. Now, that could be your negative feelings that are stewing in your body. It could be any type of feeling from rage, anger, sadness, fear. Now, if you go down the positive thinking path and you think you're going to create your reality and control your circumstances, what you do is you're piling ice cream, beautiful ice cream, on top of dog poo, and it's getting higher and higher. But eventually that just melts away, and that dog poo, that negative, that heavy feeling is still there. And it doesn't need pushing away, it needs accepting and loving and embracing. So the next time you're feeling not at your best, or you're starting your week and it's Monday and you're really hating your job, instead of wanting things to be better than they are, just allow things to be as they are. And understand that the feelings that arise are just feelings. They're like clouds passing through the sky. And you are the sky. Your whole self, your wholeness is the sky. And the clouds are every feeling that passes through. Now that could be joy, it could be harmony, peace, it could be fear, anger, rage, And it just passes through, because feelings just pass on through. They always change. Everything changes apart from who you really are. And once you begin to accept that everything changes, then you can just accept that perhaps for today I woke up and I was feeling sad. And I was feeling quite tearful and hormonal. And I could have fought against that. I could have came onto this video and I could have told you all that I was feeling great and I was feeling confident. And by just allowing myself to feel these feelings, I already feel more joyful. I already feel a light coming up inside of me because I haven't fought against it. And I also haven't compounded it by dwelling on it either. Because there's two sides really. We can focus on the positive and fight against the negative. Or we can focus on the negative and fight against the positive. Now, fighting doesn't work. I mean, we've seen it in the world. Look at the world today, the wars that are taking place. Fighting against anything just perpetuates it and makes it stronger. Now, why do we think that we're any different? The world is merely a reflection of what is inside of us. So once we begin to make peace with whatever weather is taking place, can you imagine how the earth or how the world will change? You know, we can become what we want to see in the world. And it takes place inside because the whole world is inside of you. I come back to this. If you close your eyes and you close your ears and you close all of your senses, so you can't feel, you can't see, you can't hear, the world disappears. Now, how can the world disappear unless the world is you? Now, turn all your senses back on. You can see, you can hear, you can feel. The world reappears. Because you are the world. So whatever you see in the outer world can change from inside of you. And it begins by complete acknowledgement and accepting. So if you're watching today and you're feeling envious or jealous of somebody else, or you're stressed or unhappy, or you're grieving, don't fight against it. Acknowledge that it's a part of you that just simply wants to be heard. It simply wants to be seen. If you imagine a 5-year-old child walking into your room right now, and the child is really distressed. Now that child probably wants a cuddle, wants some love, wants a hug, wants some attention. Now your feelings are exactly like that, and I'm not just talking about the sad or the lonely or the grieving feelings, but anger's the same, rage is the same, envy is the same. The more we can just simply receive the feeling into ourselves, then it has space to change and evolve. Life changes when we allow it and acknowledge it. And then the new thoughts, the new beliefs, the new feelings, the opportunities, the different way of living your life, it just naturally flows into your life. You don't need to force it, and you don't need to sit down and do nothing, because when you're letting life be and you're acknowledging and are being aware and accepting, and you're present too, you naturally make choices and decisions from that present moment. So your life flows and unfolds. A lot of people in the world don't trust. I was one of these people. I didn't trust that life would work out. I didn't trust that life would take care of me. I didn't trust myself most of all. But as I begin to trust uncertainty, I trust the uncertain nature of life. I trust that life will change. I begin to trust myself, and the more I allow myself to feel whatever arises, the more I trust myself. And the more I trust myself, the more I accept. And then love just comes in. It happens naturally. No force. Never force. And you probably know that when you try and make things happen or try to fix yourself, that you struggle and you stress and nothing quite works out. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. I've talked a bit longer than I thought, but thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you Anne Louise and Judy and Jessica and Salik and everybody else that watches on the replay. Now, I hope that's just given you a little bit of understanding to your day and helps you start your week in a more peaceful way. So, thank you for watching, and I'll be back on Thursday about the same time, 10 a.m. London time. So, thank you very much. Bye.